Okay, next up we got Ethereum here. Wow, same thing as Bitcoin and the other ones. Crazy, because I didn't think that this would go much higher than where I thought this could be a quick buy because it was holding at 1825. But yeah, but it kept having lower liquidity zones, so I was concerned about that. So I was not interested in buying it, but I was interested in selling it, and you can see it came up to my zone absolutely perfect. Did not expect this to happen, obviously, at all. I expected a possible short down to, back down to 1825. But I said if it breaks this area, like it's gonna go all the way down here, probably to like 1630. I didn't think it would do it in a day, but it did. So pretty wild to see. And now we're definitely bearish. It's way below this moving average. This is massive, guys. So yeah, like we're definitely bearish. Now you're gonna be looking for shorts later on. But this 1825 zone was huge, and I just want to go over some things here because like this is textbook, very good chart movement in my opinion. Trading, if anything, I guess you could call it. But having these lower liquidity zones, this one and then this one, and then just price basically get lower and lower into the zone, retest it many times, and then finally break. I mean, you could have entered the trade here for sure. Even just kept your stop above those would have been totally fine. That would have only been a 3 risk reward, but which isn't great. But yeah, what a crazy move. So now all our cryptos I think are pretty much bearish, all the ones I've looked at recently. So we can delete all these. I just like how it respected all these prices. Like 1850 it respected, 1825 is respecting to the downside, and then finally it just broke. So I might trade Ethereum more often because it just seems like it really respects zones and prices. So now 1825 kind of becomes our area to return to. So I mean, the first thing that comes to mind here, like you get this massive candle here, this massive daily candle through this zone, yesterday's candle, and then pulled back a bunch, but now is retesting it again. So maybe it doesn't go below this zone, but if you're looking at, I would say the next possible trade would be a retracement trade because it's kind of done its entire monthly move. If you look at this, it hasn't retraced since all the way up here at 2030. So, and if you look at this again, this lines up absolutely perfect. So this 1825 zone is right between this 50% and this 618 zone, which is absolutely, like, that's a very good sign. That's where price wants to go, right? Unless it keeps breaking lower. If it keeps breaking lower, then we're out. But if this comes down, hits this zone right around 1650, which is a nice whole number, if it starts retracing after that, that is most likely where it's going to end up. And it might take all month. So this is September here, September 1st. So it might be pulling something like this. I could definitely see that happening. It'll just slowly kind of pull back up, especially if the dollar index, which we just looked at, if that starts selling off, which I think it very well could, that's going to push this back up. So, and because it's a cryptocurrency, the volatility is crazy. Sometimes there's a ton, sometimes there's none. So it wouldn't be crazy to me for this to get bought up really quick, especially because, again, there's not that much resistance or anything in between 1650 and like 1825 right here. So as you can see, this completely annihilated. So there's no reason why I can't just go back up that, and then retest this 1825 area. So which would be between the 50% and the 618 zone, which is huge. You can even see it pressing a little bit higher right up to this 618 zone, and then that would be a full retracement of this entire movement. So, which it hasn't retraced yet. So it's very due for one. So that's kind of what I think Ethereum is going to do for the rest of the month. I think it might slowly kind of find its level of support here somewhere in this 1630 zone, between 1620 and 1640, 1650. We'll just see how it kind of moves about once it's down there. You can see you still got lots of bear momentum going into it. So yeah, I would let price hit this zone and reject probably multiple times, and then let this 1 hour moving average catch up and cross over, which will take maybe a few days to a week, and then reassess it then, and then maybe there'll be a long trade just to finish off the month. something like this, possibly, and then maybe going into next month as well. But this could take some time. You know, it might not be the best idea to buy this even at 1630, even after the 1 hour moving average is crossed over. It really just depends on the structure setup and the time and the liquidity in the market. So all those other things have to make sense in order to take the trade as well. So if they don't, we're not taking nothing, but I could see that happening. I could see this finding its area of resistance here, you know, it's this previous support zone. So I do think that is possible with Ethereum. So we will wait and see what price does once it, you know, keeps making its way down. Looks like it still wants to go down. So we'll see what it does through this zone. Maybe it creates a new zone, might create a new lower liquidity zone below this one. It might even create one just above it. So we don't know yet. We're gonna have to just wait it out and see. And so that is Ethereum.